Have you ever stopped and wondered, am I really on the right career path? Well, it's a huge question that millions of young people across India are asking themselves, and honestly, most of them have nowhere to turn for an answer. So today, we're going to dive into a really fascinating model that's tackling this exact challenge and doing it in a pretty profound way.
So let's start with a number. And this one is, well, it's staggering. 265 million students in India right now need some form of career guidance. You're talking about an entire generation that's basically poised to shape the country's future, but so many of them are standing at a crossroads, completely lost.
But here's the kicker. Out of all those students, only 10.4% actually get any kind of professional guidance. Just think about that gap. You've got all this potential on one side and this massive lack of opportunity and direction on the other. And that right there is the crisis we're digging in today.
Now, this isn't just a bunch of individual stories of confusion. No, this is a national-level challenge. You hear people talk about India's demographic dividend, this incredible, once-in-a-generation opportunity with a huge youth population. But without giving that youth a clear direction, that amazing potential is at serious risk of just fizzling out.
And you know, for young people from underserved communities, this problem is amplified like crazy. They often have very limited exposure to what careers are even out there. Then you add in peer pressure, a total lack of role models, and this immense pressure to just start earning money now instead of building a real future. It creates this vicious cycle of underemployment that is so hard to break.
Okay, so how in the world do you even begin to solve a problem this big? Well, the solution we're looking at is pretty cool because it's not some brand new tech startup idea. It's actually an ancient concept, just brilliantly modernized. And the whole thing starts with one simple, powerful idea. Find your purpose before you pick your profession. Let's break that down.
The first piece of the puzzle is this concept called swabhava. You can think of it as your inner blueprint, your authentic self, your core DNA. It's all about figuring out who you really are, your unique strengths, your natural tendencies, completely separate from what your parents, your teachers, or society expects you to be.
And once you have a handle on your swabhava, you can start to discover your swadharma. This is your unique purpose, the contribution that only you can make to the world. It's about finding a role that is so perfectly aligned with your inherent nature that your work stops feeling like work and starts feeling, well, meaningful.
And this quote just nails the whole philosophy. See, most career guidance asks, what skills should you learn? What courses should you take? This model completely flips that script. It insists that the first, most fundamental question has to be, who are you? Everything else flows from that.
Okay, so this all sounds great philosophically, but how do you actually put it into practice? Well, it's structured around finding what they call the three-point sweet spot. This is where that ancient wisdom gets turned into a real, modern, workable framework for fulfillment.
The entire model rests on aligning three things. First, as we said, is your individual nature, your swabhava. Second is finding your purpose-driven role in the world, your swadharma. And the third crucial piece is understanding your own personal aspirations. What does success actually look like to you? Not to anyone else, but to you.
And the whole goal is to find that magical point where all three of those circles overlap. That's the sweet spot. It's that state where what you're good at, what the world needs you to do, and what you personally want out of life all come together. That's where work can feel almost effortless and deeply fulfilling.
Now, finding this sweet spot isn't just some abstract idea you meditate on. No, it's a very real, very structured journey. So let's look at the 7-step roadmap they use to guide these young people from that initial phase of self-discovery all the way to their final career destination.
It's called the 7D framework, and it's what makes this whole thing work. It's a clear, step-by-step process. You start by discovering your strengths. Then you dream and build a vision for your life. From there, you decide on a path, design a concrete plan to get there, develop all the skills you'll need, and deliver by getting job ready. And finally, you reach your destination, and you get ongoing support to make sure you succeed. It's an incredibly complete system.
Okay, but the big question is, does it actually work? This is where the story gets really, really compelling, because this program isn't just based on a nice philosophy. It measures its impact with cold, hard data. So let's take a look at the results.
Just look at this. The industry standard for students having real clarity about their purpose in life is a tiny 5%. 5%! But for students who go through this mentoring model, that number skyrockets to an unbelievable 91%. That is absolutely a game-changing difference. And we're not talking about some small pilot program here. This model has already impacted over 1 million lives. They've trained more than 6,500 mentors and are working in hundreds of schools. The sheer scale of this proves that this identity-first approach isn't just effective, it's also something that can be scaled up to meet this massive challenge.
So, we've seen a huge problem, a powerful philosophy, and a proven, scalable solution. But it all leaves us with one final, bigger question. A question that really applies to every single one of us, not just students in India. What truly happens for an individual and for an entire society when purpose finally meets profession?